All right, so now we're going to create our own box and whisker plot. So just by way of reminder, with a box and whisker plot, we always have a number line, and then we have these 5 points that we put below the number line, and then the middle 3 points, draw this box, and then from the 4th point to the 5th point, we draw a whisker, and then also between the 1st and 2nd point, we draw a whisker. Okay, so what we're going to talk about now is how to determine where all these dots are going to go. That's the topic of this video. So let me move this way. So I have this data here that we're going to be working with. Okay, it's the average amount spent by visitors to the United States per person. All right, so these are people from these countries, and it's how much they spent in America. All right, so the first step is to arrange the data in order from least to greatest. So I'm going to take these numbers and put them in order from least to greatest. So my smallest value is 483. So you should be doing this as well on your paper. Okay, and then we have 562. Oh, they already have it in order in the list. That's funny. No, they do not. 2,142 is next. And then we have 2,341. I'm going to leave off the commas because that's going to get confusing. 2,466. 2,688. And again, you should be doing this as well. 2,726. 3,389, 3,405, and then 3,618. So you always, with pretty much most graphs, you want to start by putting the data in order from least to greatest, okay? So now that we have that done, our next step is to find the median. Okay, so the median is going to be the middle value. So we go now the median is going to be somewhere between these 2 values. So you need to find like the median of those 2 numbers. You got to find what number's in the middle of them. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to add the 2 numbers together and divide it by 2. And so the middle of these 2 data values is 2,577. Okay, so the median is 2,577. So I needed to know the median. I need to know the lower quartile and the upper quartile. So the lower quartile is like the median of the lower half of the data. All right. So if I split the data in half, I'd be splitting it right here, because then I'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of data on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of data on this side. So the lower quartile is going to be the middle of this data, which is going to be right here, okay? Because if I worked my way in, I'd end up right there. So I'm just going to mark that as the lower quartile is 2,142. The upper quartile, I'm doing the middle of the upper half of the data. So my upper quartile is 3,389. And then my lowest value is 483. And my highest value, or greatest value, is 3,618. So remember, on a box and whisker plot, I said you needed 5 dots. We have just found the information for all 5 of those dots, okay? So now the next step is to draw number line. So we're going to look at our data. Our data goes from 483 all the way to 2,618. So I'm going to suggest that we do a number line. We want to have equal intervals, and I've got to get all the way from 483 to 3,618. So I'm going to say go by 500s, because to go by thousands would probably be too small. The intervals would be too small. It'd be difficult to make our increment. So I'm going to start at 0, 500, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 3,500, 3,000, 3,500, 4,000, right? So there's 0, there's 500, I'm going to mark 1,000, this would be 1,500, I'm going to mark 2,000, 2,500, here's 3,000, 3,500, here's 4,000. I could even put another mark there, I'm not going to need it, but, and I'm going to put a title, okay, I'm going to put the title right above, I'm just going to put this right here. Amount spent by visitors to USA, and I'm going to say dollars per person, like that. So it's the number of dollars per person. All right, so now I have to put in my dots. I've got to put dots for these 5 values. So my lowest value is 483, so it's going to go about right here. And notice I'm doing this nice and big. Don't try to squeeze it together or it's going to be very difficult to see. My highest value is 3,618, so probably about right there. My median, 2,577. It's going to be right about there. My lower quartile, 2,142. My upper quartile, 3,389. Excuse me. And now I can go ahead, now that I have my 5 dots, I can draw my box and my whiskers. So the middle 3 are going to be the box. So I'm going to put a line through the middle 3 and then connect them together to make a box. And then I draw down here to get to my lowest value, and then up here. And now I've created my box and whisker plot. So that's how you create a box and whisker plot. So when you go to do your assignment and you need to create one, I would suggest that you rewatch this video as you do the assignment so that you can follow the steps again. But it's all about putting the data in order from least to greatest, find these 5 values, create the line, give it a title, plot those 5 values, draw a box around the middle 3, and then draw the whiskers out to the lowest value and to the highest value.